You ever find yourself wondering what real justice looks like? I mean, not the courtroom speeches or cable news panels, but justice that drags its boots through blood and asphalt and won't rest until the truth is out in the sunlight. Because that's where the story begins, with Lieutenant Colonel Vanessa Carter's blood soaking into the cold Virginia highway. A police officer smirking over her broken body. You ever watch something so wrong you know you'll remember it forever? Yeah, that's what happened here. And that's what happened here. Let me take you back, and I promise by the end, you'll question what you thought you knew about power, justice, and who gets to define either. Vanessa Carter wasn't the kind of officer you forget. Born and raised on Chicago's South Side, daughter of a postal worker and a county nurse, she fought her way up through every wall that a poor black girl was supposed to respect. They told her not to dream too big, so she aimed for West Point, graduated in the top 5%, and never looked back. 2 decades of service, Afghanistan and Iraq, medals for courage and brains, a master's in national security. At 42, she was running a Pentagon task force investigating how white supremacist groups had wormed into American law enforcement. On a morning that changed everything, she was headed from D.C. to Norfolk Base with evidence on her laptop, proof that organized hate wasn't some fringe problem, but a cancer eating through the system, targeting black service members on routine traffic stops and making accidents look official. As she drove that empty stretch of Virginia highway, Vanessa's mind was worrying, analyzing, calculating, connecting the dots no one wanted to see. Her phone rang. General Peterson, chairman of the Joint Chiefs. Even alone, she straightened her uniform. "Vanessa, the president's been briefed on your findings. He's worried." She told him flat out, "This isn't isolated, it's coordinated. We've tracked digital evidence tying Office Us and 17 police departments across 12 states directly to extremist groups. They're not just sympathizers, theory hunting us." That's when the blue lights flashed behind her. She kept calm, pulled over, signaled hands at 10 and 2, military ID ready. But when Officer Tyler Randall walked up, hand already on his gun, something cold and ancient twisted in her gut. He asked for her license. Voice dripping contempt, eyes refusing to see the uniform or the rank, just the color of her skin. She tried protocol, identified herself, explained she was on official business, slow and clear movements, but he cut her off, muttering, "You people always think you deserve special treatment." You know the feeling when a room goes quiet before a storm? That was the air in her Tahoe. She reached for her registration, telegraphing every motion just like she trained Anne. He barked, "Don't move." Gun drawn, she froze, hands visible, adrenaline turning every second into an hour. "Officer, I'm complying. I'm unarmed. Shut up. Hands where I can see them." He called an uncooperative suspect. Possible weapon, a lie as blatant as daylight. And in that split second, she understood. This wasn't about traffic laws. He knew who she was. He didn't want her to make it to Norfolk. 3 gunshots shattered the morning. The first blew out her window. The next 2 tore through her shoulder and gut. The pain was blinding, white hot, ferocious, but her training kicked in. Pressure on the wound. Stay conscious. Reach for help. Blood pullied around her. Uniform ruined and Randall cool as ICE reported an officer-involved shooting. Suspect neutralized, building a story before she'd even lost consciousness. Backup arrived a second cop. Officer Jenkins saw the scene and snapped. "That's a lieutenant colonel? What did you do?" Randall insisted Vanessa had reached for something. Jenkins ignored him, reached through shattered glass, started first aid against orders. "Ma'am, ambulance is on the way. Stay with me. Stay with me," Vanessa has. My laptop Pentagon classified, hoping someone honest would listen. Sirens closed in, but her world was shrinking, vision tunneling. She thought of her husband, Michael, a school principal, and her teenage twins, Zora and Malcolm, and swore to herself if she survived, this would not be buried. Next thing, hospital lights, machines beeping, 6 hours of surgery. While doctors pieced her back together, outside the hospital, it was war local cops on one side, military on the other, both staking claims to jurisdiction. General Peterson showed up in person, flanked by agents and soldiers, making it clear this was federal now. A Pentagon officer was shot on official business. "This is not your call," he told Sheriff Davis. Randall's mentor, a man with decades of racial profiling complaints but a spotless career record, Michael Carter, and the twins arrived, faces hollowed by shock. "My wife has served her country 20 years. She deserves better," Michael said, steady as stone. Inside, evidence began to surface. On-site evidence began to surface. Vanessa's dash cam, still rolling, showed Randall's escalation in cold-blooded shooting. His muttered, "One less of them in uniform," caught on audio. Ballistics proved both shots hit her in the back, execution style. Randall's body cam had been deactivated, premeditated. Jenkins came forward telling investigators about the Guardians, a secret group within the department targeting black drivers, hiding evidence, manipulating reports. The FBI found forums of police offices nationwide, sharing hate and coordinating stops. This was bigger than anyone's shooting. As Vanessa fought for life, the feds raided homes across the country. Guns, extremist manifestos, a list of black military officers targeted for interdiction. Sheriff Davis caught destroying evidence, flipped, and named names. Public outrage exploded when footage leaked Vanessa following every protocol, Randall executing her anyway. For every protest demanding justice, there were counter-protests, blue line flags, old arguments, but the facts couldn't be denied. The case went federal, charges stacked high. Civil rights violations, attempted murder, domestic terrorism, treason. Randall's lawyers blamed stress, systemic failures, but the evidence was overwhelming. Vanessa, barely recovered, insisted on testifying, dragging herself to the stand with a cane and a fire in her eyes that shook the room. She laid out the investigation patterns of traffic stops, hate forums, her team's findings that she was targeted to Stouffer report. Jenkins testified, risking her career and her children's safety. "I joined the force to protect people, not to be part of a system that targets Americans because of their race." The jury heard it all. Randall's own voice snarling about. One less of them in uniform. Davis's confession of a multi-state conspiracy. Other cops coming forward at last to tell the truth. The verdict, guilty on all counts, including treason. The sentence, death by lethal injection. The first for treason since World War II, some called it overdue. Others said it was political vengeance. But the effect was real. Dozens of officers and officials indicted, networks dismantled. Carter protocols written into law to prevent extremists from infiltrating law enforcement again. Vanessa, promoted to full colonel, led the National Task Force to root out remaining threats. The Carter family faced their scars: Malcolm's poetry, Zora's activism, Michael's public voice for reconciliation. Officer Jenkins became a national leader in police reform. And yet, even with Randall gone, whispers of deeper roots remained. Another architect still out there, powerful, hidden. On the anniversary of the shooting, Vanessa visited the marker by the highway, met a young black police officer inspired by her fight, and knew the work wasn't finished. The real battle against hatred, against broken systems, against silence would outlast her. But her blood on that highway had forced America to look at itself and for once choose not to look away. Now I want to hear from you. Do you think the death penalty is justified in cases like this? When hate hides behind a badge, is justice about punishment or about finally changing broken systems? Let me know what you think in the comments, because honestly, we all have a stake in how this story ends. If this journey through darkness and light moved you, please share your thoughts, subscribe, and keep speaking out. Like Colonel Carter proved sometimes, all it takes is one voice that won't stay silent.